G'day again, Year 7s, and exercise 7E, order of operations, is our next little video here. Again, I'll try and keep these short. They've been shorter lately, and I'm sure you've appreciated that. Okay, order of operations. BIDMAS. Okay, remember what these means. I probably won't be able to fit all those in. Brackets, fit that in. Indices. I'm not going to go through all these. Division, multiplication, addition, and whoops, let's try that one again. That wasn't very good. Make sure I got my pen right. And subtraction. My writing is atrocious, I know. Alright, so brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. You need to know that, okay? So you are working order of operations that way. Okay, start with your brackets. If you've got brackets, then you look at your indices, then division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Remember, these guys can be interchangeable. Okay, you can do division before multiplication, you can do multiplication before division, but they have to happen before addition and subtraction. But these guys are also interchangeable, so I can do subtraction before addition or addition before subtraction. Okay. Now, when working with more than one operation and with positive and or negative numbers, deal with the brackets first. Okay, do multiplication and division next, working from left to right. So that's why you just work left to right as you work through the problem. Okay, and if you get a division part of the problem before a multiplication part of the problem before division, then you do it. So again, you don't have to do it in that order. And then do addition and subtraction last, working from left to right. Okay, we've gone through this stuff before, and I have suggested to a number of you, because there are still some of you that have issues with the BIDMAS and the order of operations. You need to do some practice, okay, to make sure you have got that right, because if you haven't got that right, again, this stuff is, you're going to make mistakes, so you've got to make sure you spend time getting your order of operations right. Okay, let's look at some examples. Use order of operations to evaluate the following. 5 plus 2 times negative 3. So which part of this equation do we do first? Okay, we don't do the addition. If we look at our BIDMAS, addition and multiplication, so we've got to do our multiplication first. Okay, that's all we've got here. So my 5 is just going to drop down at this point. So equals 5. I'm not touching that, so I'm doing this part. And I'm actually going to change that, because remember, you've got to be really careful now. The sign in front of numbers are really important. So this is not just a 2 because we're dealing with integers. It is now you've got to make sure it is a plus 2, because that's going to affect your overall outcome. And some examples coming up will show that. Alright, so I've got 5 sitting at the front, and now multiplying my plus 2 multiplied by minus 3. Alright, so if you remember back to my last video, the first thing I'll look at is my sign. So I've got a plus here and a minus here. Oh, I don't want that. And a minus there. So what's a plus and a minus give us? A positive and a negative gives us a negative. So I'm going to straight away write my negative down there, and I'm going to write, then I'm going to look at my 2 times 3. Just multiply my numbers out, which is 6. So I've actually got, minus 6, 5 minus 6. Now I can deal with that, 5 minus 6. So you think of temperature, I'm at 5 degrees, it drops 6 degrees, I'm now at minus 1. Okay, makes sense? You've got to deal with these very slowly and carefully and make sure you show good working out. Working out is key when you're doing these. Okay, second example, minus 6 times 2, take away 10 divided by negative 5. Okay, so I've got multiplication, subtraction, and division. Okay, multiplication, subtraction, and division. So here, here, and here. So I've got to do these guys first. Multiplication, multiplication and division have got to happen first. Now I'm going to break these guys up. So I've got that part that I need to complete. And then again, I've got to make sure I include that sign in front of the 10. That is very important to include. I can't miss that. And that's where you guys will make mistakes. If you don't go through these carefully and look at your signs, you'll make mistakes. So I'm going to calculate this part first. The negative 6 times 2. So I've got a negative and a positive. Gives me a negative answer. 6 times 2 is 12. So I end up with negative 12. Here it's minus 10 divided by minus 5. So a minus here and a minus there gives me a positive, a plus answer. Okay, so now I've dealt with that. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now I can finish this problem off. Negative 12 plus 2. So again, think of temperature. If it's at minus 12, it increases 2 degrees. I ended up at minus 10. Okay, now let's check to make sure I have got the answers right, and I am very confident, don't you worry about that. Okay, first one, minus 1, part B. Okay, this is the question we just did here, minus 10. Okay, so I'm on the ball. Hope that makes sense to you. Let's do another example. Okay, here we go. Minus 2 take 1 in brackets multiplied by 8. Okay, so we've got a multiplication and we've got brackets. So brackets first, then we do our multiplication stuff. Okay, so here we go. Minus 2 take 1, we think of temperature. I'm at minus 2, drops another 1 degree. I'm at minus 3. And this part is just going to drop straight down because I haven't done anything with it yet. So that's the next part of my next line. Remember now I'm not even looking at this line because this is basically my new problem is here. So this is all I look at. I don't now look back up here to try and get this line. Okay, this is my new problem right here. So this is what I've got to deal with. So negative 3 times 8. A negative and a positive gives me a negative answer. 3 times 8 is 24. A very badly written 24, but 24 nonetheless. Again, let's have a quick look. You don't want to work for me, do you? What are you doing? Come on, work. Man, issues. Technical issues. Slowly. No, it's just not going to work for me. Look, have faith. I know I've got it right. Have faith. Doesn't want to work for me at all. All right, minus 24 though. Okay, trust me, that is correct. Next one, we've got 5 divided by negative 10 plus 5 and then plus another 5. So again, brackets is here. So I deal with that first. That is my first thing that I've got to deal with. Okay, then we are going to be dealing with a division part in here, which is going to be second, and then we add the 5, which is going to be our third step. Okay, I'll get rid of all that because it's a bit confusing. Okay, so our first part here, we've got to do the brackets. So I'm not dealing with any of this at the moment. So my 5 and my division sign can go there. I'm now going to do minus 10 plus 5. Again, think of temperature. We're at minus 10, increases 5 degrees. So you end up at minus 5, and I'm just going to put that in brackets. Okay, and then again I haven't dealt with this part, so that just drops down to this line. So now I don't need to look there because this is my new problem. Okay, so this is all I'm dealing with. Now I've got a division and I've got an addition. Alright, so division has to go before addition, so I've got to do my division first. So positive 5 divided by negative 5, so a positive and a negative gives me a negative. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And this part again just drops down to my next line because I haven't done anything with that yet. This is really good, clear working out. I can see what I've done at each step, and this is what you need to model. Negative 1 plus 5, so the temperature is at minus 1, increases 5 degrees. We end up at 4. And there's our problem. All done. Okay, makes sense? Alright, so these aren't difficult, but again, you do need to know your order of operations. Okay, and you need to be very careful when you're looking at your positives and negatives. Alright, now I want to do one more example. So here we have a bit of a doozy of a problem. Okay, looks very confusing, I know, but it's not. Excuse me, I'll have a quick drink. Sorry, my throat's getting a bit dry. You break this down and work out what you've got. So at minus 5 minus, then in brackets, 8 plus minus 2. I've got a plus 9 divided by a negative 9. Okay, so obviously here is my brackets. It's my first thing I've got to do. And that's all I'm going to worry about. Everything else that I'm not going to deal with, I'm just going to drop down to my next line. So this is minus 5. And because of these brackets, this minus can drop down as well. So I'm minus 5 minus. Now I can deal with this part. So 8 plus minus 2. Remember, we don't want to see two signs like this. So I'm just above that, I'm going to write, so I've got a positive and a negative. Gives me a negative, we write one sign. Okay, so 8 take 2 is 6. Okay, I can keep that in brackets too if you want to. At this point, it's probably a good idea with this negative sitting there as well. Alright, so 8 take 2 gives me 6, and this part drops down, the plus 9, and the divided by minus 9 drops down. Okay, now we look at our order of operations. I've got a minus, I've got a plus, and I've got a divide. So that division has to go first. So everything else along here, and remember, this plus has to be taken into account with this 9, because yeah, we just got to make sure we include all that. Whatever's in front of a number, that's what goes with that number. So the rest of this I'm dropping down. So this minus 5, I'm dropping down. This minus and the 6, I'll keep in the brackets at this point, drops down. Now I can deal with this. So I've got a plus 9 divided by a minus 9. So a positive and a negative gives me a negative. 9 divided by 9 gives me 1. Okay, so now I've got this minus 5, minus a 6, minus a 1. Okay, so let's do this. Minus 5, minus 6. So temperature's at minus 5, drops another 6 degrees. I'm at minus 11. Drop this negative 1 down. Minus 11, take 1, is minus 12. Okay, so these aren't difficult, but you've got to, like I said, step by step. Alright, so these steps are really important, and again I'm going to hammer you guys a bit with your working out. Some of you still are not, you're really fighting this working out part, and it is going to come back and bite you, particularly with problems like this. Your working out is going to come back and bite you big time. And as you move through into the higher year levels, 8, 9, 10 in particular, if you don't show the working out and have your working out really well sorted, you're going to encounter so many problems. So really focus on the working out. Again, I'm not doing this to look pretty and look smart. I want you to model what I show. Okay, really important. Alright, so hopefully that has made sense. Nothing really new there, but it's just adding the negatives and positives to order of operations problems. Okay, so good luck, and I'm actually going to leave you with a bit of a joke on this one for those that are still listening. What do you call a fish with no eye? Fish. Yeah, funny. I know. You can stop laughing. I'm going to turn it off now. Good luck, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.